We have the World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. It could be one of the matches, could be one of the standouts if it's done right. However, I do think that we've seen this enough now, so it has to be different. I'm seeing people say that, you know, Drew should win very convincingly and just basically dominate. Kind of like Brock Lesnar and John Cena at Night of Champions. Was it Night of Champions? Whenever it was. Whenever Brock squashed Cena. Kind of a similar thing. And obviously that would tie into the tag match. That would be a part of storytelling. And that leads me into my next point. I feel like this match is massively overshadowed by the tag match and just The Rock in general. Just because, at least with Cody and Roman, right? Whatever happens in the tag match directly impacts that match, right? Whereas with Seth and Drew, you can make the argument that, yes, okay, Seth's competing in it, so that's how it directly influences that match, but there's nothing else on the stake for Seth. You know, there's nothing else on the line for him in that match. You know, to be honest, if Seth loses in that tag match, it's not that big of a deal for him, because, I mean, listen, would it sting? Yes, because at the end of the day, I would imagine you want to win the match. But at the same time, you know, there's way more implications and way bigger implications on Cody losing that tag match than there is on Seth losing that tag match. Because, I mean, Seth could still then retain his world title, but I'll get onto this in a second. But, I don't know. I don't think there's that much in it for Seth. I don't really know why he's involved. I'm not mad that he is. I think he's entertaining in this. I kind of like the champion versus champion. It's basically brand versus brand, isn't it, at this point? Obviously, you've got Roman and Rock that are primarily on SmackDown. And then you've got Cody and Seth who are on Raw. So, I kind of like the angle in terms of it's kind of champion versus champion, brand versus brand. I could argue it's people's champion against people's champion. Hey, I'm just saying. But I don't know, I think it's a little bit overshadowed by the tag match. And it also could fall flat just based on the fact of we've seen this a few times now, you know. And also, kind of like the IC title, this wasn't the match we were gonna get, or at least it wasn't the match we were hoping for or expected, because obviously CM Punk got injured, so it was gonna be CM Punk versus Seth. Is the big belief from fans. But listen, I'm sure we'll get that match, whether it involves the world title or not. We'll get it at some point. But obviously, again, there's a domino effect there, right? Which I would imagine is somehow affecting why Sami Zayn is in the IC title picture and not Chad, and why Drew is yet again facing Seth at Mania. So, I don't know. But, yeah, it's just, there's a lot, this is the theme, right? And this is one of the big issues with this card, and it's something that WWE can't really avoid, is the injuries and how they've had to kind of backtrack on certain things because of the injuries. And, you know, not the Rock Roman thing and the whole Cody Roman thing, because that was just stupid. But in terms of the injuries, obviously they can't help that. So people have just got to take that into consideration as to, like, okay, this isn't the match we wanted, but this is what we've got, this is what we're getting, so we kind of just have to go with it. I think this match needs maybe a Damian Priest cash-in. The only way I see Seth retaining is if then Damian Priest comes down and cashes in successfully. But then I don't know why you then put Drew in this match again. I don't know. Obviously, again, I think Drew just has to be there just because, again, Punk got injured and whatnot. And then there's kind of this triangle where, you know, Seth was going at Punk. Seth kind of put Punk in the rearview mirror for now because of his injury and whatnot, whereas Drew is still going at Punk. Also, there's rumours that I've seen on Twitter, so, I mean, take it with a pinch of salt, but there's rumours that Seth is apparently taking a break after WrestleMania. So that would suggest that he's losing the title in some fashion at Mania, but obviously this is WWE. Nothing set in stone. So, I don't know, but I think it needs that. It needs something to make this one stand out from the numerous other times we've seen Seth take on Drew.